If you are looking for information on DJ equipment or PA equipment, please do look at the uploads on my channel. Please do like and subscribe, as there just might be some valuable information there just for you. I think I ordered these way back in August, and I've only just got these in October. I don't know if any of you were like I was. I saw they were available, I knew they were happening, so I thought, right. So I ordered two. Normally I get my speakers in a couple of weeks or days, but this was even longer. So I decided to do a little research on these. And then I realized that my HDMs have actually got more power than these. Then I sort of thought to myself, where will these speakers fit? What are they going to be good for? First thing I noticed about this speaker is it's heavy. I don't know why, but when it came to getting it out of the box, I just imagined it would be a lot lighter. At just over 22 kilos, it's not really heavy, but being a molded design 15, I expected it to be lighter than it was. I can see where RCF have placed this and their mention of great for rentals. Not being wood, but with the full grille and those heavy screws that are used for the grille, you can see that this is built to be tough. One thing I noticed with this speaker, especially when they mention it being great for rentals, is that the handle placement on the top is it's just the same as the ZLX that I used to own, the EV ZLX. The handle's right at the back. When you pick this up, it kicks back. Not only that, it kicks into you and it also scuffs onto the floor. Not a major problem, but might be a problem for some. Another thing to consider, as when you actually rest it on the floor, although it has 4 feet, they aren't the first point of contact. The first point of contact is the body. If this is used for rental, I don't think renters are going to have the same or take the same kind of care that you would if you own the speaker and you used it. So scuffing on the front each time and resting on the front each time, every time. This is a molded design body or plastic, if you'd like to use that word. And how will it bear up over time? And how delicate will renters be when it comes to placing this speaker back onto the floor? Comparing it to other RCF speakers, where would I place this? Well, today I'm going to compare it to the 745. The 745 is a speaker that I regard as a reference. Music that comes out of this is so sweet. I just have to mention that my 745s are older than the Mark IVs. So I know it's not the right kind of comparison, but it's the closest thing I can think of that is molded design, 15-inch, two-way, and used for maybe the same purposes. I'm not going to go over all of the specs because RCF have already done that, and they do that better than me. Just breezing over some of the specs. The 945 is more powerful. It's taller, it's deeper, but it's not as wide as the 745. And as we already know, it's around 3 kilos heavier. Downstairs you've got the TrueCom connection and the rubber True outdoor protection that covers them, which is new, different and welcome. These speakers also come with a very hefty power lead for that connection. The front waveguide and ports on the speakers look just like those that are on my HDM 45As. Must have proved to be good. So where does a 945 excel? Just like RCF say, this is more of a linear performer. Some of you may prefer this. A good way to sum up how this speaker sounds: listening to it, it seems like a fast speaker. Everything that comes out of it is faster. It's a really lively sounding speaker. It's a short, sharp and snappy and fiery performer with a lot of exuberance, shall we say. When I hooked this speaker up and played some music through it, the first thing I noticed, I never needed to compare it to anything. As soon as I played music through it, I knew it wasn't as sharp as something like the 745. So like you'd obviously do, I started playing stuff through the 745 a week later, and straight away I knew there were things that I could hear from the 745 that I just cannot hear from the 945's tweeter. And when it comes to the low frequencies, if you like your hip hop, your R&B, your house, your garage, not just moderate but cranked up, nice and loud for events, the 745 is going to be the speaker that you'd prefer to listen to your music through. You can use two 745s without subs and get away with it. When it comes to using a 945, I think you're going to need a sub. I don't think you can get away with it. The 945s definitely have the punch, but they just don't have that very low end bump and thump. The DSP, I'm not going to say too much about that because I don't really hear much difference. makes very subtle changes, but I really can't say much more about it than that. The whole listening experience from the 945, you can tell it's refined, but the low frequencies don't extend as far as the 745 when you hear them. They're a lot tighter, crisper, sharper. The high frequencies, although a little muted, you can just hear more detail when you listen to the 745. The 945 having so much power, I suppose it doesn't need that sharper, high frequency tweeter. I see this as being beneficial to the 945 as it won't sound so shrilly when it's maxed out. Bright vocals and percussion will sound fantastic at moderate to high listening levels, but when it comes to when it's actually on its limits or at max, too much detail from that tweeter just might become sounding slightly or a little unpleasant. Just like your low frequencies, at max they might not sound so accurate, and there might be that tendency for them to sound woolly and cluttered. I'm not saying the 745 does this, but as you know, when speakers are towards their limits, things just start to fall apart. I think the way this speaker is tuned, this is perfect if you like to listen to your music very loud and you want to push it, because these speakers can take it and deliver it with everything still sounding spot on and very tidy. Maxed out, the 945 will sound more focused than the 745. This is where it excels. I've had them loud but nowhere near clipping, so that would be a good thing to try out when you demo these if you get the opportunity to do so. Overall, I'd say a great well-built speaker. Where I'd place this speaker, I would say this is a NX45 in a molded design with a lot more power. Some people have asked me a few questions and I will answer them right now. 745s or these? If you've got 745s and you're looking for a more refined speaker, something with a lot more power, then yes, 945s. I know they're going to be heavier, and I think you may miss that low end that the 745 possesses and the clarity, but they will sound a lot more tight and focused. 945s or HDM 45As. The 745s sound great, but the HDMs, they sound supernatural. I don't even need to explain. HDM 45As. NX 45As or these? These will have more power than the NX 45As. So if you like that, go for these. And if you like a handle on the top of your speaker, go for these. If you're looking for a speaker that's got lots of power and that's got a great linear performance, this is it.